Okay. All right. Do you want the good news for the Texas Rangers? And then we'll get to the other parts of the news.
I'm sorry, one quick thing. Did you see that the Chargers have hired Mike McDaniels as their offensive coordinator? Like, that's confirmed there, so...
Yes, but we did that last week, right?
Yeah, I think they were just making it official or whatever, all that kind of stuff.
They can suck it. We already knew that, so the Chargers can shut up.
I want the good news, Kevin. Give me the good.
Okay, I'm glad that you said that. The bad news might be a lot to deal with. All right.
Yeah, maybe we don't get to the bad news. Who knows?
Okay,
the good news is so much that we never have to talk bad.
Okay, maybe you're right. So the MLB top 100 players right now, the biggest gaining players in all of Major League Baseball. Great news for the Texas Rangers. They have the third biggest gainer on the list. Jacob deGrom went from number 99 last year to number 50 this year. I have to admit, kind of feels like 50 is a little bit low, but Jacob deGrom on the list. He is the third biggest riser ahead of Kyle Schwarber and behind only Yamamoto, who went up 50 spots, and of course Cal Raleigh, who went up 55 spots from number 59 all the way up to number 4.
Kevin, we watched Jacob deGrom. We watched pretty much every pitch he threw last year, and with a very fine microscope. He did give up some home run balls.
That is fair.
And I don't really want to put this on him, but didn't it feel like he was a little more human at times last year? Because there was a moment when I was like, this dude's untouchable. And I don't know that I felt that way about him last year. Now, he was definitely coming off that injury and working through that process and everything, but he's human. So a 49-spot rise, I think, is fair, but I'm with you. If he's untouchable, he definitely needs to be higher.
Now, who do you think is the highest-ranked Texas Ranger on the list?
One, Corey Seager.
Corey Seager is correct. He is number 27 on the list. Last year, he was number 17 on the list, so he took a little bit of a tumble, but given the team's overall struggles, his struggles and injuries, that makes sense to you, right?
Yeah, would you also say it's kind of fair, too, that some other younger players have made their way and earned some of the respect, too? Like, you're right. Corey Seager playing at whatever playoff level he plays at, he could be a top 3 guy. But doing that for 162 is damn near impossible unless you're Ohtani, I guess. And then
no kidding.
So, like, that's the part of it is, yes, he took a tumble. Yes, last year wasn't my favorite for him, but there are some other very exciting baseball players out there right now, too.
So I told you Seager's 27, deGrom's 50. How many other Rangers do you think would be in the top 100?
I would put Eovaldi in there. Because I love Nathan Eovaldi, even though you've always been against him since day one.
What? Yeah, I definitely support Eovaldi.
I've never seen Kevin root against a guy in a World Series for the Rangers.
The dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, I would say him. He would be another one on my list. Other than that, Wyatt Langford can inch in on this at the moment.
Okay. It is, in fact, those two. Well done. Nathan Eovaldi, number 64 on the list. He was not ranked at the start of last season. And then Wyatt Langford is on the list at number 69. Last year, he was ranked number 97. So a big jump for him as well. But, yeah, those are the four. Seager, 27. deGrom, 50, Eovaldi 64, Langford 69. I know those are the ones you guessed, so I'm guessing the answer is yes. Does that feel representatively correct to you?
Yes, it absolutely is. Like, those are the best players on this Rangers team. I know we have high hopes for Evan Carter, and I think he could be an 80s type person at some point. And I'm interested to see a full healthy season from him. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I think Josh Smith is a really good player that we love, but I think it's one of those, like we had a lot of those, Kevin, growing up, that we were like, why doesn't everybody love Scott Fletcher more than me? That happens sometimes. But I think that I have a question about Wyatt Langford, because he's growing into this thing. We thought it would mature a lot faster, but he's growing into this. Do you think he moves into the 40s by the end of this year? Would that be a prediction for you, that he could be in that kind of spot by the end of this year?
All right, I'm going to hate myself for this later. I think he can move into the 30s.
Really? You have... Okay.
I have a reasonable amount of belief in Wyatt Langford, which is probably why, he's moved along at a regular pace, but I just thought he would move along at, a supersonic pace like we've seen some other players. But he's moved along at a good pace, just not as fast as I would have thought.
Yeah, he's building a really good resume. If he continues on this trajectory, his career arc's going to be very good. But I think you're saying that Mike Trout first 10 seasons kind of thing makes you just go eye-opening. And maybe that was, we did get really hyped early about it. I do feel like you were kind of like, I am excited, but also can we pump the brakes just a little bit before he even steps on the field? And I just I was curious about what you've seen as this trajectory. But you're right.
Sometimes
been good
we don't
to
always
start.
take our own advice either.
Yeah, sometimes.
Now, this question, look, I'm obviously talking about me. This question from the 214, should we be highly pumped that we might have the top rotation, or should we ease up our expectations? Yeah, no, I am absolutely highly pumped. And I think the trouble is, if you ease up your expectations, then you have to deal with the potentially sobering reality of what your lineup looks like, right?
Yes. I loved watching the pitching last year. And I know people are like, oh, I hate, I want to see offense. It really is a blast to watch artists do work. And last year, Patrick Corbin looked like an artist out there, dude. He really did. And so it was fun. But yeah, they give you a chance. They give you a chance every game. It was they got worn out having to be the ones that every pitch was so important last year, and the offense couldn't do anything for them. And then when the offense finally did liven up a little bit, the pitchers were like, we're exhausted, dude. It's got to be, what do we say, complimentary baseball, Kevin.
Yep.
Both sides have to do their jobs in order for this thing to work out. So, yes, I am absolutely pumped about watching this pitching this year and listening to it right here on 105.3 The Fan, obviously.
Now, Corey, let's see how good you remember MLB baseball. I don't know why I said it like that. They put out their list of top 100 prospects. Who is the number one prospect?
Major League Baseball.
Shut up.
Connor Griffin.
Son Griffin
of Peter Griffin.
I do not. That's not correct. The other one is a cartoon character. Connor Griffin is indeed correct. Now, you ready for the good news? As I told you, he's in the same year as Sebastian Walcott. Sebastian Walcott is number 7 on the list. So 2 of the youngest prospects in all of baseball, both top 10. Sebastian Walcott is now the number 7 ranked prospect in all of baseball. Thus ends the good news.
Oh, no.
Here is the bad news. Corey, would you like to start listing all of the other Rangers prospects in, it's the top 50?
Before I do that, Connor Griffin's dad is absolutely named Kevin Griffin. I feel like we traded away a bunch of prospects recently.
None is the answer. And if you're like, that's not fair, it's a top 100 list, you jerk. Why don't you expand it out to 100? All right. Well, I was trying to spare everybody's feelings. Well, let's go ahead and expand it out to the top 100 in all of baseball. Now, would you like to list all of the other Texas Rangers prospects in the top 100?
I feel, again, like we traded some prospects recently for a pitching. Is there one? Just tell me there's one.
No. I told you the one. It was Sebastian Walcott. And when you say that we traded away a bunch of prospects. I would make a very passionate argument that you traded away one top 100 prospect in Gavin Feen. I think Feen would have been on the list, but I think that's it. So on the one hand, you might be like, hey, we only had to trade away one top 100 prospect to get Mackenzie Gore. And there's logic to that.
Pitcher.
Yeah, there's logic to that. On the other hand, you would say, hey, didn't you trade 5 of your top 20 prospects and you only were going to have 2 in the top 100 anyway, thus kind of exposing the weakness of your farm system?
It's the weakness of the organization, honestly.
Agreed.
The farm system is that weakness. And again, Mike and I discuss it. You discuss it with me all the time. Prospects are, you never know. You have no clue what they're going to turn out to be. But they're assets. They are currency. And the higher those prospects are, you can fall in love with them if you want. Or you can use them to get the better players whenever you're trying to make a World Series run. And that's what they're useful for. Replenishing this is something the Rangers are going to have to figure out. How they do it without taking away from their major league team at the same time, that's the problem that Ross Fenstermaker and Chris Young have to come up with a solution for.
And once again, we've talked about this many times. It goes back to the idea that it boggles the mind that you wouldn't reconsider who is in charge of all of this. All right, couple more quick things for you. Yu Darvish is probably, definitely, certainly retiring, unless he's not, but he probably is. Now, what all of that means, there was reports that Yu Darvish over the weekend was going to retire. He even had to come out and say, you may have seen an article, and although I am leaning towards voiding his contract, there's still a lot that has to be talked over with the Padres, so the finer details are yet to be decided. Also, I will not be announcing my retirement yet. Yu Darvish has 3 years, $46 million left in the 6-year extension that he signed with San Diego. He's going to miss this season with the Tommy John surgery, or getting the UCL with the internal brace. Sometimes there's a little bit of variation on these surgeries, so he's not going to pitch this year, and the assumption is that he is going to retire. He was very clear that he would do anything he could to try to get back and up and pitching again, and I believe that, but I also bet there's a discussion about some semblance of a buyout with him and the Padres.
Yeah, I would assume so as well. I also would like to request, if we can get that little drop of Kevin saying, I am not announcing my retirement yet, so definitively, I feel like it's going to be useful at times.
Yeah, that's probably fair. And then Andrew McCutchen is not pleased with what the Pirates are doing in terms of like potential negotiations with him. He says, quote, I wonder, did the Cards do this with Wainwright, Pujols, Yachty, Dodgers to Kershaw, Tigers to Miggy? If this is my last year, it would have been nice to meet the fans one last time as a player.
Dang, dude.
And this coincided with their fan fest. So, probably not the number one message they wanted out into the public.
They got to have a fan fest? That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.